Ubisoft is one of the many companies within the industry that has DEI quotas, and I say this all the time, diversity and inclusion are good things. The problem is the companies that are using them either as shields so content can't be criticized, and they're just going down checklists, and it's forced diversity. It's not done naturally or because the creatives felt passionately about the characters that they were designing. They simply said, oh yeah, you gotta go down this checklist and you have to have a certain percentage of women or people of color, and you have to do it because we have quotas to uphold. And he's claiming that that's not the case, even though the lie detector has determined that that's a lie, and it has for years at this point. This is a That Park Place article. It says Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot claims that his company is not pushing any specific agenda, despite the company's website saying otherwise. This is the problem with statements from CEOs and executives, right? Because they try to damage control as they see all of the backlash on social media kind of getting out of control, and they're trying to quell the worries of investors, but really all it does is make the situation worse for them, because they're not saying things that are true. They're just, spewing blatant lies that everybody can see. Everybody can find these facts relatively easy. It says in a press release where they revealed they were revising their expected Q2 net bookings down from 500 to 350 to 370 million due to poor sales from Star Wars Outlaws, along with announcing a delay for Assassin's Creed Shadows. He first revealed the company was going to launch a review of itself. I did cover the Assassin's Creed Shadows delay in a previous video. It's not looking good for Ubisoft this year. They really expected that to be their big money maker in 2024. They're pushing it off to 2025. What's really suspicious about their announcement is the fact that they're refunding everybody's pre-orders, and we never see that happen, where a company delays something by a couple of months and then they refund everybody across the board. Usually they offer refunds if you want them, but they don't really highlight it because they want you to just view it as like a couple of months delay, and then you're going to get your product. So that to me screams that this game is nowhere near done and that they're not actually going to launch in February, but that's what they're claiming right now. But he said, in the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency when delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the executive committee, under the supervision of the board of directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher-performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Yeah, it does not sound like the shareholders are extremely happy with them right now, because things are not going good over at this company. Now, they claim that they are focusing on this player-centric approach, yet they have shown absolutely nothing to prove that, and all they've done with their recent releases is actually push customers away. He says, finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around the company lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. So he's either straight up lying or he's an absolute idiot, because that is exactly what is going on at Ubisoft right now with the games that they're launching. Maybe he really doesn't know about the content they're putting into titles, and he only sees a little bit of the backlash on social media, and that makes him a complete idiot because he's not truly paying attention, but he's reading from this script that is completely inaccurate, or he knows that he's just straight up lying to try to quell the worries of the people that give them money and make it so that they can create Star Wars Outlaws games and Assassin's Creed Shadows games. But either way, it is not a good look because it's a straight up lie. I mean, if you just take a quick peek at their website, like most companies' websites, they have DEI pages talking about their goals. It says, however, this is an obvious lie, as their website makes it very clear it does have a specific agenda. On the company's diversity, inclusion, and accessibility page, a statement from Ubisoft's vice president of global diversity says, for us, putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do means providing an environment where employees can thrive, building open-minded communities where players can connect, and creating games that reflect the diversity of the world we live in. I think it's rich that they talk about how they want to build an open-minded community where players can connect. When you look at their socials and they lock down tweet threads, they make it so you cannot communicate with other players, they hide responses that they simply do not like, that their social media managers don't like. If you look at their Reddits, the subreddits will ban conversations entirely because the moderators get sick and tired of bad faith actors, which are simply people criticizing the product, coming in and just wanting to have a conversation. Like, they do not know the community that they have fostered, the environment that they have created. And of course, I can get down with other things like an environment where employees can thrive, but at the end of the day, there are tons of activists that work at these companies, so I don't particularly feel bad for them when they complain about, oh, how long their work week is, or, oh my gosh, we have to go through crunch. Like, you're still getting paid for it, and yes, I don't want there to be a Blizzard party at a Ubisoft, but at the same time, they're getting paid very well for their work. That's beside the point, though. We will not accomplish all of these goals overnight, just as it takes years of iteration to develop a AAA title. We will only become a more diverse and inclusive company by continuously improving. They boast about diversity and inclusivity, but these companies do the same thing over and over, where they try to promote inclusivity by exclusivity. They make it so white men or straight men or just men in totality cannot apply for mentorship programs and cannot get in these higher up positions because they, of course, at these companies now want to have a certain amount of, again, women or people of color, so these men are denigrated time and time again. They talk also about how in their content they want to be as diverse and inclusive as possible. In 2023, they made it clear that they had a focus on queer representation in games, as the inclusive games and content team works to accompany production teams, helping them identify opportunities to tell inclusive stories at the beginning of stages of production. They are reflecting in particular on how to provide frameworks and best practices for authentic queer representation, and they thought going forward that the best idea was to take a historical figure like Yasuke and allow him to participate in LGBTQ plus romances. That doesn't seem very historically accurate. That doesn't seem to me to be authentic queer representation, because you're just taking a representation of a real human being and you're making a mockery of them, because there's no evidence to sustain some kind of romance like that happening in this game. But they don't care, though they're going to have to start caring at some point here, given how terribly things are going for them financially. Again, all of their major launches this year have been complete and utter failures, and they were relying on Shadows to make them a boatload of money, and they delayed it, and honestly to me it doesn't sound like it's even releasing in February. But a financial analyst just had described Ubisoft's sales collapse and delaying of Shadows as a total meltdown as the stock price collapses. So it doesn't seem that anybody is particularly confident in Ubisoft at this point. So I think Yves here is going to have to make a lot more statements going forward and doing a lot more damage control. But it's interesting to see him try to make these statements and everybody be able to see through his lies and his BS, because it's clear as day that yes, they are trying to push agendas because their website states it, and they have stated it many times over the years. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
A lot of the lore is really lore that's out there. A lot of the lore is really just color.
to just fucking stop.
Teachers tell schoolboys that displaying traditional gendered roles in a family could lead them to committing the R word. There are far too many really, really stupid people in our education system. Far too many. Offloading this absolute nonsense onto the next generation. It is an absolute joke. Almost a third of schools use relationship and sex education classes to tell kids about toxic masculinity, also known as being a standard man like every single man has been for like hundreds of thousands of years. But before we get started, something that will never get old for me. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Then you could be entitled to compensation. But what does get old is insurance companies' habit of lowballing you when you're at your most vulnerable and burying you under tons and Man left Dublin building with child he didn't know under his arm, court told. And when this started doing the rounds in the media, you did not get a description of the guy, which is all you need to know, a description of the guy. But anyway, a 25-year-old man has been before Dublin District Court after walking out of an apartment building with a young child he did not know under his arm. The man, who cannot be named by order of the court, why is that? Was arrested yesterday after the incident on Saturday and charged with unlawfully attempting to take or detain a child under 16. The district court heard the man was at a party in an apartment building on the north side of the city, but left the apartment he had been in. He was seen on CCTV footage interacting with two young children aged 5 and 10. The court held he did not know the children. Garda Laura McDermott told the court that at one point the man was seen leaving the building and walking away with the 5-year-old under his arm. Teachers tell schoolboys that displaying traditional gendered roles in a family could lead them to committing the R word. There are far too many really, really stupid people in our education system. Far too many. Offloading this absolute nonsense onto the next generation. It is an absolute joke. Almost a third of schools use relationship and sex education classes to tell kids about toxic masculinity, also known as being a standard man like every single man has been for like hundreds of thousands of years. But before we get started, something that will never get old for me. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Then you could be entitled to compensation. But what does get old is insurance companies' habit of lowballing you when you're at your most vulnerable and burying you under tons and tons of paperwork until you're too overwhelmed to do anything about it. I know how hard it is to be given the runaround while trying to get through a case and having to deal with work, family and life in general on top of it. It's far too many plates to spin alone, but luckily Morgan & Morgan is on hand to ease that burden if you become their client. All they need you to do is answer a few easy questions to get the ball rolling, and from there you'll get your free case evaluation and your lawyers will keep you posted through your smartphone. Morgan & Morgan operates in all 50 US states, so even if you're one of the 5 people who lives in Wyoming, you can join one of over 3 million people for whom they have recovered over $20 billion. And if, God forbid, Morgan & Morgan does not win your case, the fee is completely free. But you can be sure that Morgan & Morgan has the means to fight for the best result possible, since they will put a team of lawyers, investigators and paralegals on your case. And your concerns won't go unanswered, because 24/7 support is provided by almost 4,000 support staff. That's almost a whole legion. So, if you've been seriously injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/countdankula or by clicking the link down in the description to get started on a claim. Anyway, Teachers are telling schoolboys that displaying traditional gender roles in the family could lead to them committing rape. A bombshell report is claimed, which is just not true. It's just not true in any way at all. It just isn't. It's just false. It's not masculinity that causes these actions. It's people being evil and twisted that causes these actions. Right? That's just the same as saying, "Oh, you're a man. You're a rapist." Then, it's a joke. These are the stupid feminists infiltrating these institutions. That's what it is. People that get cheated on or get, treated really badly or stood up on too many dates that now just hate men, making this stuff up just to dance.
Would be actors like Peter Dinklage in particular, I think. To continue.
We've had this hang time between Dance of Dragons and Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
People have come up with just so much of their own fan theories and content, and it's some of it's really crazy. But it reminds me of I'm Christian. It reminds me of people who are like reading, like trying to grab new meaning from like scripture or like Kabbalah. People have said this a lot about Kabbalah, and they're trying to extract like entire things. They just aren't there, but they're kind of like torturing the text to get out of it. That's what it reminds me of. I think I watch some of the lore videos and I get a chuckle out of them. I think it's fun to like imagine, like, okay, so this reference to Lovecraft, that means that the deep ones are going to play a big role in Winds of Winter. And I'm like, probably not. But
yeah, no, I think it's fun to make the theories and so on. I just when as soon as you started to connect, and this is gonna happen because in Also Always a Fire, because of this, that's the part where it's like, no, this is part of the world, but it's not part of the story of Also Always a Fire. Also Always a Fire story is a very limited story of a particular slice of time, particular events that doesn't have to connect, to every piece of lore that's out there. A lot of the lore is really just color.
Yeah. Do you think Game of Thrones, the TV show, could it have been saved if they had said, okay, so you can't just do this in 2 seasons and be done, David and Weiss. You got to stretch this out 3 seasons, 4 seasons. Do you think it would have been better? Or do you think it was going to be still doomed?
I mean, a lot of people liked it as it was. So even I knew people who knew David and Dan who were there on the set who said, I think by the 3rd season, like, they're exhausted. They're already exhausted. They were brand new to show running, both of them. They were incredibly passionate about it. They were incredibly involved. Like, one of them was there every single day, troubleshooting, answering questions. Benioff handed me his headphones when he during a filming of a scene where he was kind of done because he got to rush out and deal with something. So you have my headset so you can listen into the dialogue. And so this was the I think it's like the 3rd episode where we were at the Night's Watch set, and that's where Mormont is reading out the assignments to the recruits. So that was awesome. But they were exhausted. So I understand. I mean, their desire to wrap it up and faster than George thought they should wrap up. Could it have been improved? I mean, very recently, Kit Harington said, we were destroyed. We were all, I don't think we could have, he thought that they couldn't do any more. And obviously, he in particular, he's been very open. It was very, very tough on him getting that show done. So I don't know. It'd be nice to think that in the ideal universe where everyone was being paid very, very richly, so much so that they did not mind being in Belfast and Croatia for a few more years, that they could have managed it. But I think maybe if they had absolutely 100% understood that they were finishing it, they could have gone with George. Like, George, we want to try and do the best sort of compressed version that we can. Where are the storylines that we can cut? Help us figure out how to squeeze this down to fit into this many seasons.
Either sex as inherently good or bad, which I do think is fair. However, teaching kids about the signs
What's
that
up, Yuri Lofi?
that they're being groomed and stuff like that, absolutely, please introduce that into schools.
How you doing?
Jesus Christ, the government isn't going to fucking protect you from that. Jesus. So I definitely think that should be in part of sex education. The warning signs of grooming, that you're being groomed by older men who run kebab shops and stuff like that. That should definitely be introduced into the curriculum. But trying to teach that each gender is inherently good or bad. You know, women are absolutely amazing in every single way. They can do anything.
I'm okay.
Never wrong. You must believe absolutely everything that they say. Believe all
Pretty good.
And everything. And men are evil. Men
I'm
are
tired.
horrible. They will rape you. If you see a man in the street, you are about to be raped. Run. Like that's a stupid way. That's just dumb. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's ignorant. And the people that are behind it are just a bunch of cat lady feminists that just hate men. That's what this is.
I'm eating ice cream.
No, it's not. It's vengeance. Just at least admit it.
I sleep all day until like 4 in the afternoon.
So you're trying to destroy.
Yeah, it's almost 2 in the morning.
You've grown to hate it because you don't like it, and that's fine. Keep doing that if you want to spend the rest of your life with your fucking cats.
Hey everyone,
Yep.
It's your boy John.
There's nowhere to go, and there's no one awake.
The Zach meltdown gets even worse. I can't believe it. Like, I thought he cooled down for a little bit. There were a few days where he was actually making comic reviews, and now he's passive aggressively making comic reviews of like old comics. It's really weird. As he's just lashing out against Critical Drinker like I've never seen.
I went to the bar.
Because they seem to be pals. Zach, like Adam, actually write one of his books for his campaign. And then, of course, Critical Drinkers got done. Zach's got done. And it just seems weird.
I'm not sad.
So, he went hard in the paint yesterday.
I hit this weed pen too much when I went to the bar.
And then it just got destroyed.
It destroyed me.
It's just crazy what he's doing. And it's really, really sad to watch. And we will, of course, get into this news as we've been covering everything going on in comic book YouTube land. And, of course, we are here to actually fight the culture war. If you are a person who went and followed your boy Zach because he was the leader out there in 2017, 2018, just making sure that Marvel and DC comics were held to task
Yeah.
for all the woke nonsense they're doing, which they're ramping up again. If you watched Thinking Critical's video yesterday,
Disapproval emoji.
they are pushing in Marvel exactly the same sort of replacement character garbage that they were doing in 2014. It's like redux. It's like they forgot.
I live next to.
The industry's collapsing. So we are fighting that real culture war, and of course our movement that we're rebuilding in the ashes, from the ashes, like the X-Men.
I live like a couple blocks away from 8 different bars.
Pretended to lead, and then it was just about their own little narcissistic crap. With Ethan, it was just about him trying to control independent comics under his own thumb. And with Zach, it was just about he wanted a job with Marvel and DC so bad. I think he's just.
Do I live in an apartment? Yes.
He knows that's never going to happen at this point. He's kind of coming.
I live like.
That makes him kind of angry. It's got to be.
In an apartment.
But
in like a downtown area.
We're all about the cause. We are here to
like downtown of a suburb. That means
better.
anything to you?
And that means something with morals. So with real values, with real heroism.
Like on the first floor there are stores, and I live in an apartment above the stores.
Corporate form. Number 2.
I lived in one with my mom once. It was miserable.
And that is what we stand for. We stand for Christ. Number 3, that we work hard and we deliver our books. We deliver backwards what we promise. And we provide
My apartment is orange-yellow color.
That is, the 3 things that these guys failed to do.
Well, the walls in here are green.
I'm coming out with mine. I'm actually getting ready to deliver the digital files right now. And again, the big scam these guys did back in the day was they refused to provide digital files because I think they just wanted to extract more out of people on the print end for things because they were selling app scans for like $25 for like 16-page mini comics, right? It's like, what are you doing? But we don't do that. So I have digital files, and I do that because I respect my European and Australian customers especially, and of course Asian customers as well. I don't think I've ever had an African customer, but hey, you are. I appreciate you. And so, I know it's really hard to pay for shipping to those countries. It's a disaster. So I do make that available. And then of course we deliver our.
What is your goal as stream? To get as much as this done as possible, but
we come out with a new book very, very shortly.
I'm having a hard time getting into it tonight.
And so grab the Hidden Emperor right now. Get on our Terran Imperium universe, which is we are building a full universe.
This must be Indica.
This is a replacement for Star Wars. Nobody builds science fiction universes like this. And we're going to be the ones to pioneer it on the indie level. So check it out. It's in the description below. Really appreciate you guys for supporting us. I mean, this has made $51,000 on Kickstarter. It's already made another $3,000 on BackerKit. So we're well on our way to just crushing it with this book. And these will start to print once I get the digital files out and make sure everything's good for print.
What kind of fun exactly do you want? All types of fun, okay?
It's that simple.
What do you mean? What kind of fun do I want?
So thank you guys so much for supporting. That's in the description below, as I said. So yeah, your boy Zach went hard on Critical Drinker. He made a video. He's been making multiple community posts. He just and when I watched the video yesterday, it was like 25 minutes. I was like, gosh, it's terrible. Hard to watch. And it eventually came down to like he's mad about Furiosa not being a success.
What kind of fun do I want to feel? I don't know what kinds of. Name some different types of fun.
So that's what we're dealing with here. The guy's out of his mind. I'm dead serious. That seems to be his entire contention with Critical Drinker. And then he did this whole deal where he's like, "Why aren't you reviewing the Penguin?" And then Critical Drinker reviewed the Penguin. He's like, "You reviewed the Penguin too slow because you are nefarious in your purposes." And Critical Drinker came back and said, maybe I have a life outside of YouTube." It was away all weekend. Got back in time to watch and review the show yesterday. Seriously, dude, whatever hate boner you're maintaining here, just rub one out and get it over with. And so Zach lost his mind again and just started going at Critical Drinker, going at fans who were in his comments, and attacking them. The usual just meltdown.
Oh, I see what you're asking.
And so he's been on this train wreck for a while.
Cannabis can make some people giggly and chatty, and other people paranoid, confused, and anxious. It really depends on the type of person taking it and circumstances they take it under. Some people experience mild hallucinations if they take particularly strong cannabis, become lethargic and unmotivated.
these guys just like.
I guess I would like.
I mean,
I'm
how
going
these
for
YouTube guys,
giggly
who
and
are,
happy.
in the culture
Right
really
now, I
surpass
feel
that
like I'm like.
diversity level. Much bigger. They're very highly relevant, and these guys are dwindling.
Yes, I definitely. I feel
They're doing it for a couple
unmotivated right
reasons.
now.
One, they're just not fun anymore. These guys like are just angry at our side and angry at their own side, and I guess they wanted more.
It almost
But
killed
they didn't
it.
deliver. They didn't deliver their books,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you know,
amazed.
they've
I've
lost a
done
lot of
that
their
last
comic
season.
audience,
That was
and so they're just
Yeah,
bitter.
no, I agree.
And they just aren't growing because guess what? They're just
It's
not
okay, you
providing the audience that they want. They're
snid
not providing the hot
take
dogs
a sleeping.
that we're supposed to sell. The hot dog vendor,
Change to sleep at
etc.
night instead.
And then other people have come in and taken their place, and who are the real deal? Because these guys didn't want to fight the culture war. Zach just wanted.
I don't like
to
waking
be
up
Marvel
early in the
Disney
day
Comics.
and then
Always
just
said.
being
And he's
here
just coming to terms with the fact that he can't.
and not having
It's
anything
never
to
going to
do
happen.
for
They're always
hours
going to just be in the spot.
until I
And
have
he
to go
can't
do
just
something.
Accept, that it just the ploy didn't work. He hoped Jawbreakers would make some money and then go back out and get him some attention in that level, I think. And then it
It
didn't.
almost killed
Right?
it.
And then his book didn't come out. They've always been late.
amazed
They've
I
been late
filmed that
since
last
before he even became a big YouTuber. That's why Kickstarter took him off the platform because he just wasn't delivering his
It
books.
almost
They
killed
don't tell you
Amelia
that.
Clark.
They say Kickstarter's bad, but they don't explain really what happened. And it's all been just a house of cards waiting to fall. And it's because they just won't get right and won't get on the right programming. And it's sad. I'm really sad about it because I like you, hoped in the beginning that he was
I'm amazed
going to
I
be the
filmed
real
that
deal.
last season.
That he,
That was
that a rising tide would lift all boats, and it didn't happen. So it's really in trouble now. So Neurotic, he's right. Get your books done, Zach. I mean, remember when Zach said he was going to cancel YouTube and not make videos for a while just to make sure he focused on getting those out? And guess what? It didn't happen. He lied about that even. It's ridiculous. So here he goes. Now he goes, Wave 1 domestic fulfillment began today. Wave 1 international begins tomorrow. Almost 15,000 SKUs takes you on. It's worth it. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll believe it when we see it. Coordinated reviews and coordinated attacks. Zach,
Have any
you've taken all
hobbies?
these guys together for the last 2 weeks. You've attacked Neurotic. You've attacked Geeks and Gamers. You go at Eric July as over and over, and finally somebody responded. This is what you wanted, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
And it's
I
not
mean,
coordinated on their
YouTubing,
end. They're just like,
that's
"Geez,
kind of a
this is
hobby.
like,
I don't
why
make
would you attack Critical Drinkers?"
a ton of money doing it. This, what I'm doing right here, this is work,
This is a
but I
simple
don't have to be
wrong through
streaming
why
it,
will
you
suffice.
know,
Personal insults from both of you. Is this personal insults?
in real life.
I know you. have weird hate
Yeah,
crime
you know,
statistics. You are not fulfilling your books.
I'm in a
You're
movie.
not doing
Well,
what you're supposed to do. That's not personal. That's actually the business.
there's a
of
thing.
what's
It
going
actually
on.
ties in the YouTube
They
channel,
go
my
out and say,
hobbies,
"Oh,
but
Zach's a bad
I'm
guy,"
like,
you know,
I,
he,
I'm
said
into
something
movies,
racist on the internet in
cinephile.
2012. They're not saying that. They're saying you're weird. You are spewing hate at them constantly, which you are.
Play video
and you're not
games.
working on what you're
That's a
supposed to work on,
hobby.
what people pay for. That's not personal.
Comics, I'm not
That is the
really into
business.
anymore,
And
but
you're
I
very
used to.
cool.
I have like a
And you're
really
more angry about it.
cool comic
Let's
shop
just say
across
you're
the
angry
street
about
from me that's been open
I've
since
said several times, I
'83.
don't think either of you are bad guys.
But I
Criticism
haven't really-
has devolved
I've
into
kind of
something other than criticism.
Not been as
Okay.
into that hobby.
Well, Zach is devolving into something other than criticism.
Yeah,
as
going
well.
out for
So
walks,
since
that
this
couldn't
occurred,
hurt. That wouldn't hurt.
Zach was at
I could use exercise.
8.9, I think, yesterday in terms of subscriber count, and he's dropped that at 97.5. So he's lost his audience because he's going so hard in the paint against these guys who his audience likes, who they don't want him to go against, and that's over 1,500 backers or 1,500 subscribers. It's a huge drop. That is like you never see that kind of a drop in YouTube. That is wild. And it's all because he's just not doing what he's supposed to do. Should be simple. Simple Zach. All right, mundane Zach.
Let's see what this guy
That's what
says.
he keeps saying. It's ridiculous.
You said you
It's
watch
really,
Game of
really
Thrones,
tragic
yes?
about this.
Game of Thrones.
I don't think he's gonna stop because they always double
You
down.
watching that Game of
All right,
Thrones?
leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to back the alternative. This is it, guys. This is
Yeah.
what Ethan Van Sciver and Zach promised. Good books with great stories that actually build wonderful characterizations, cool world building. I've got huge plans for the future here too, and we're working hard. And every success, we're just gonna work even harder. We're not gonna,
Game of Thrones, some
we're not gonna slow
HBO
down. We're
show.
not doing it. I'm just gonna work even harder.
Oh, well, it was a
Because,
series of books.
that's what you pay me for.
And then
I appreciate it. Thanks
I
so
got
much.
adapted into
Subscribe,
this
share,
HBO
below.
show that was like
Where
a
it's going in the next couple
phenomenon.
weeks. Appreciate you guys for
I've not really watched
They
it.
were incredibly passionate about it. They were
People
incredibly
have been
involved.
yelling at me, scolding
One
me,
of them was there every
really
single
just
day.
politely asking if I would review the first episode
Like
of
Dungeons
Penguin
and
on Max
Dragons.
and give my thoughts. And since I'm such a weak,
Yeah.
cowardly individual, I gave them
I'm surprised. I don't think
And
they've
so
made
here
any
they are,
Game of
my
Thrones video
spoiler-free
games.
thoughts on the first episode of The Penguin.
Betty off had to meet his head coach when he during filming of the set where he was had rush out.
If you didn't know, The Penguin is a direct sequel to
Oh.
Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin.
That's a
There's
good
also
thing for a
plenty of
note.
Christopher
I
Nolan
need
callbacks,
my notebook.
And it takes a lot of inspiration from the old Adam West TV series. Really, all of the previous Batman movies are accounted for in this. They're all part of the same cinematic universe, except for The Batman, which came out just a year or so back by Matthew Reeves. Matt Reeves, some call him. If you like honest, hard-hitting journalism, I would request you subscribe to the channel because I put out movie reviews, TV show reviews, really anything entertainment all the time on the channel. Would love to have you stick around. Now, of course, I'm full of shit. This has nothing to do with any of those things I talked about. This is in the Matt Reeves universe. It's part of his crime cinematic universe, I think they're calling it. And this really is kind of like a Sopranos Godfather sort of situation with the Penguin. A 1 hour plus episode getting to know this crime boss and how he's gonna hopefully rise to the ranks as one of the big bads Batman will surely go up against again. If you're looking for a fast-paced, knuckle-brawling, balls-to-the-wall action vehicle, this is certainly not the case. We have a somber, slow-moving affair here, but I never found it tedious, I never found it boring or tiresome. It's just taking its time in a very interesting way. I will say first impression was honestly not great, even though we have a beautiful opening wide shot of the Penguin looking out the window. His name Oswald Cobb in this. I'll always call him Oswald Cobblepot from the Tim Burton films. But Oswald Cobb staring out the window at what is left of Gotham after Batman was done tearing it to pieces, going after criminals. We cut to a collection of different news video on TV. And this is a really jarring contrast from that opening shot with the beautiful visuals. Now we have these high-res, really bright TV screens of different news reports. And they're talking about the Riddler, and they're talking about other characters, and it's honestly coming off a little cheesy to me. But this, thankfully, is the only time I will feel that way, because the rest of the episode has a very cinematic quality to it. I just really wish they wouldn't have gone the trope, the old, boring, stale way of having news articles and reporters tell you what's been going on in Gotham all these years. It hasn't even been years. Really, this takes place directly after Batman's done. The town is still very much getting over the flooding. You got different factions of people that have no housing. They're getting food. FEMA's involved. Falcone has been killed, courtesy of the Riddler. And what's left is a power struggle between these different mob bosses trying to decide the best route to make up the loss of their merch that is now floating at the bottom of Gotham Harbor. Colin Farrell reprising his role as Oz, aka Penguin, and he does waddle a lot in this one. We find out he's got like a gnarled up foot, so he's really over the top going like this. He doesn't do that yet. I'm just waiting for him to get like punched wrong in the throat, so he's like, what happened to my voice? Squawk! Is the Batman here? Eats a fish. I don't know why, but it feels good on the throat.
One of them was there.
We gotta come up with a gritty, realistic way for me to start eating fish and acting more like a penguin. Joining him on his misadventure is Victor, a young kid who's got his whole life ahead of him, so why not take him under his wing, penguin wing, and show him how things get done in the city streets of Gotham. How this story is being set up, he's saying, hey, Oz is gonna be trying to get power, and he's gonna have to deal with the Falcone family. Specifically Sophia, played by Kristen Milotti. And I love this actress. She's always been great in everything I've seen her in. No exception here. She's ruthless and a tad unhinged.
Deleted by moderator. What?
Things with the family. By the way, if you appreciate me covering
It's in a different size font.
every episode moving forward, and I'll probably go into
Did I give you?
videos.
You modded?
How this one does first, and then I'll be on my way. But I plan on watching the series. It's very good so far. I really like the first episode. We got some compelling stuff. It's tricky when you're following a villain to kind of have any sympathy for him or just like get on board with the cause at all. But Colin Farrell is both ruthless as this character and has this kind of like sad clown mystique behind it. There's a soberness to this performance that I really appreciate. It's not over the top. It is grounded, but he has that gangster vibe straight out of Joe Pesci from Casino, just downplayed for sure. And when this episode winds down, we have a clear direction that the show's going to go in, and I find it fascinating. I like the idea of this mob boss rising the ranks, having to start out small, make deals, get dirt on people, move people around, like he's setting up the board, and he's making some of the moves early to see how they shake out at the end. It's a Game of Thrones sort of a situation, and I'm here for it. Again, it's very cinematic. It is matching the Batman. It's got those orange color hues, kind of like old school Die Hard movies. I like that shit. And the score is just as solid. We have a great ensemble cast. So far, everybody's working for me. And again, I really liked Colin Farrell in this. I like Colin Farrell in most movies he's in. He's an underrated actor. I've been saying this for years. So it's great that he's got his show to really showcase his talents. And I came into this one not that excited. The Batman for me was a solid movie, and I've never watched it again. I tried watching it with my family, and they were kind of bored and didn't want to continue. And honestly, like, yeah, it's a knockoff of 7, but with superheroes, kind of. So I'll just watch 7 again if I want my fix on that. It was a fine film, though, and I do like the universe. Just not really something I need to rewatch. The Penguin, however, fits really well into this. I didn't think I would be into a film about this character, but they're selling it for me. I'm on board, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments below. Was this just a little too tedious for you? Didn't go anywhere exciting? Or you like me, and you were won over pretty early on, and you're excited for what's next? Leave a comment. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I post movie reviews. I cover TV shows. Really anything entertainment all the time over here. Would love to have you stick around. Plenty of fun content coming up. If you love what I'm doing, maybe think about showing support and just leave a super thanks right under this video. It's just a click away, and then you just give a couple bucks, say, hey, Adam, thanks, appreciate it. Or you can become a patron at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. I have a bunch of fun vlogs coming up. I'm editing them right now. My family and I went to Disney World. We went to Typhoon Lagoon. It was an experience. One that I can't wait to share. All right, hopefully I see you next time.
Books and notes and thoughts and things. And I first interviewed with an actor was Reno John Bradley, and he just would voluminously responses.
Who is Chase?
He just said, thanks for an interview like that.
Sleeping at the wheel is not a crime. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
everyone was very
fine,
enthusiastic.
but it's not a crime. Yes, it is. Well, I didn't get arrested.
It did well for HBO, and it did
Well,
well
I
for a
didn't
lot
get
of these actors. A lot of these actors have
arrested.
gone off.
Guess what? Just because you're a woman, that means it's not a crime. Didn't get arrested, not a crime. You would try and get away with it. We know you. Yes. So if I am not in trouble, it was not a problem. Doesn't mean it isn't a crime. Is falling asleep while driving a crime? It could be considered reckless driving. I guess if it gets worse than vehicular assault or homicide, but nobody was even hurt besides my car. The window wasn't even damaged. It was literally just my car. No one got hurt except for fucking me. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. I'm pretty okay. I'm pretty okay at making sure no one else gets hurt, only me. So yeah, my car was not okay, but everyone else was, and so was the windmill. So was it a crime? No. I'm sure the officer was just like, this poor college student is running herself into the ground. Poor thing. And then he let me go. And I only cried a little bit, actually. I didn't even cry that much. I was not that teary-eyed. I was just calling my dad, and I was like, Dad, I fucked up. And then he was like, okay. He probably thought you were special needs. No. I didn't get anything for that. I got literally nothing. The officer was like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, no. Calling my dad. And the officer was like, okay, bye. Can you get home okay? I was like, I guess so. That's it. That's all. Everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips. Right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.
God, you're tan, huh?
Yeah, where have you been?
Surfing.
Serbia? What'd you go to Serbia for?
Yeah.
Wait, you've been surfing every day, huh?
Every weekend.
Santa Monica?
Yeah, or El Puerto Beach.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you are the most tan I think I've ever seen you.
Yeah. What's the?
I mean,
what's
No, I'm just surfing and I just get really like brown.
you're in brown face.
Yeah.
I thought you were getting ready for your Kamala Harris impression.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
heard.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, do the impression.
Come on.
Give me a word.
The phrase that you should say is, "You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the one she says all the time.
Yo, it's the Drunken Atheist coming through the scene. Christ, how quickly living in this dream. Got the studio vibe with a dose of green. Talking on drugs, man, it's quite a routine. Chilling on the mic with a style so raw. Got the late night stream, you knew the deal. Y'all passing out on live like Rakida's Law. Degenerate behavior is the wildest draw. Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Chris Halloween is living in a feel so right. Mixing drugs and booze on the layers of lights. Late night, 5 minutes out of sight. I stream every drink with the gas on full. Chris gets fucked up, stories get involved. From the base of laugh, the content's low. Never in the wildness, never do what you're told. Every podcast is a ride full of twisted cheer. You're watching Gab stream and Chris has had 1,000 beers. Psilocybin mushrooms make it crystal clear. He ain't never gonna stop, it's the show of the year. Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Christ, Halloween's living it, I'm feeling so right. Mixing acid with Molly under laser lights. Late night, 5 minutes out of sight. So raise your glass high to the man of the hour. Christ and crew got that unfiltered power. Fading out on live, but the rave won't sour. Degenerate and wild, they'll never cower. Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Christ, Halloween is living it, I'm feeling so right. Mixing drugs and blues under laser lights. Late night, 5 minutes out of sight. It's a drunken atheist coming through the scene. Christ Halloween, living out his dream. Got the studio vibe with a dose of green. Drunken on drugs, man, it's quite the routine. Chilling on the mic with a style so raw. Got that late night stream, you know the deal, dog. Passing out on live like Rakida's Law. Degenerate behavior's the wildest draw. Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Chris Halloween is lifting it up, feeling so right. Mixing drugs and booze and the laser lights. Late night vibes, man, it's out of sight. Click a stream, grab a drink, watch shit unfold. Chris gets fucked up, shaking like he told. From bits to streams, the content's gold. Diving in so wildness, never do
I have
what
to
you're
steal
told.
that emoji.
Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Christ Halloween is living it up, feeling so right. Mixing drugs and booze and the laser lights. Late night 5 minutes out of sight. Click that stream, grab a drink, watch shit unfold. Chris gets fucked up, shaking like he cold. From bits to streams, the content's cold. Diving into wildness, never do what you're told. Every broadcast is a ride full of twisted cheer. You're watching that stream and Chris has drank 100 beers. Psilocybin mushrooms make it crystal clear. He never gonna stop. How about one drunk off the motherfucking year? Drunken Atheist Studio, party every night. Chris Halloween, he's living it up, feeling so right. Mixing acid with Molly under laser lights. Late night vibes, man, it's out of sight. So raise your glass high to the man of the hour. Christ Halloween, he got the motherfucking sour. Christ Halloween, he got the motherfucking power. Christ Halloween, he gotta throw you off a tower. Drunken Studio, party every night. Christ Halloween, he's living it up, feeling so right. Eating all the drugs and the lights and the laser lights. Night wave vibes, man, it's out of sight. Like and subscribe if you ain't lame. Christ Halloween, be his name. Go to Drunken Atheist Studio to watch him play games. So fuck it, let's just do a pot of cocaine. Motherfuckers. 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 Motherfuckers.
Not the right format or something.
motherfuckers!
Sample and then I'll follow.
She kind of sounds like she's like you just think you fell out of a coconut tree. She almost sounds like she's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Dude, you just think you fell out of a coconut tree. Let's play the clip. You think you fell out of a coconut?
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Never going to watch those scenes.
Here we hear it.
Here we hear it.
I think I'm probably not what happened. I haven't been watching.
We cannot support it.
Is the Hard Hope episode in season 5?
Oh,
I can't remember.
so.
Or
Go ahead.
season 6. I'm sure
You
not.
think
No.
you
That
just
might be
coconut tree?
That's pretty good.
That's so good!
That's pretty good.
Call Lauren Michaels!
Yeah.
Call Lauren Michaels right now!
Call him
Oh
now.
my god.
What
dude,
happened to
that
my
was
phone?
So good, dude. First try?
Let him know he can make right by the Shane Gillis mistake. Hiring an Asian. South Asian.
That was very good.
You think you just fell out of a... It almost sounds like she's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Dude, you just think you fell out of a coconut tree. Let's play the clip.
Coconut tree.
You think you fell out of a coconut?
Oh, there we go.
Here we hear it. Here we hear it.
Here we hear it.
Approaching this issue in a way that we also understand we cannot support and help people. We also
Also.
Go ahead.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
That's pretty good.
That's so good!
That's pretty good.
Call Lauren Michaels!
Yeah.
Call Lauren Michaels right now!
Call him
Oh my god, dude. That was so good, dude. First try?
Let him know he can make right by the Shane Gillis mistake. Hiring an Asian. South Asian.
That was very
You
good.
think you just fell out of a coconut tree? That's really good.
That's so good.
You're much darker than
And
her.
then the last photo
Hard Hope episode in season
that we
5,
we saw with the other podcast that I do. That you were on. I know, but a lot of the comments are like, "Oh, she's now an adult."
Because she's tan?
No, there's something about the way because you have to understand. It's like dude, like in different strokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Willis, not Arnold, but when Willis grew up, you were like, "Oh, he's Arnold stayed the same."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
Arnold-
fuck?
Arnold didn't really,
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
He kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
But when Willis became when you saw him kind of transition,
People
to a-
watch him grow up
They watch
on
him.
the show.
So we watch you grow up.
We watched you grow up on the show. Yeah. And it's
She looks the exact same to me.
yeah. To me, she looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our little sister.
Our little sister. You know what I mean?
And she's
Yeah.
And this thing didn't grow. Oddly enough. Up here didn't grow.
Oh, that never grew.
Yeah, it kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
Have you learned anything? You graduated college
That, in
now.
my opinion, was the
You
last
haven't.
great episode.
Wait, how many years has it been? Aren't you been there for 4 years?
46.
I have 2 more semesters and I graduate.
What is that? A teacher in Mexico is teaching his students physics using one.
One cheese?
What is that? Oh, that's the thing that you love so much.
The animated.
Would you like to learn through One Piece?
Yeah, that would be more interesting.
So did you end up watching that one anime I told you to watch?
Not yet.
Nothing I suggest you watches. Nothing.
Well,
No, it's just when you push, then I don't wanna.
Oh, but I feel like if I don't bring it up, you won't either.
then yeah, that's true. You won't be informed at all.
You
Yeah.
gotta find some way.
Okay, I'll find something.
I watched The Whale on the plane.
Great movie.
My God,
What whale?
it's just the Brennan.
Oh, okay. I went to porn called Whale too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think it's just that was like it just bummed me out.
Yeah.
It was just tough.
You had never seen it before.
No, you know what's so funny? I started it once and then I was like,
Yeah.
I just you know when you start something you're like, this is gonna fucking make me sad the whole flight.
What's sad for me is I have a drawer like that.
You do.
Yeah, I have one of those drawers where
Chicken, and that's
fried chicken. Yeah.
watching him eat the chicken was
Oh
the
my,
toughest. That's
so hard.
tough to watch
Yeah.
because it's just like
Yeah.
the pizza. Oh yeah, but that actually looked kind of good.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
And then what's the ching chong China Asian lady?
She's so good. She's so good in that movie.
She's so good in that.
What is her name?
Yeah. I just go ching chong lady.
Yeah, Hung Chao.
She's so good, that lady. Alright, so there's something I want to talk about that I was told not to talk about, but you know me.
You gotta chat it up.
I gotta chat it up because if it doesn't, it turns into a cancer.
Chat it up. Chat
It's
it
not a
up.
rumor. It's not a rumor thing.
No, it's a fact.
It's not a fact. It's just that
So it's a rumor.
it's not even a rumor. It's just a little observation.
All right, give it to me.
All right. I was in Butte
Butte, Montana,
for 3 weeks.
with Jim Belushi,
Yes.
Leslie Jones,
Yes.
Tiffany Haddish.
No.
No?
Alan Kurgan.
Eleanor. Tiffany was. I
No,
think
she
Tiffany
wasn't. No. It
She's
was Little
supposed to
Rel.
be in that
No,
movie?
Little Rel.
That's Tiffany, isn't that the same?
That's the same person.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. And Whoopi. It's all three.
Just have his HDR TV.
Whoopi, Tiffany, and Lil Rel, the same
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all the characters Martin played.
Right. So there was this guy named Brick Patrick, who, a talented actor. He was actually in the movie you did, but the second one.
He was in Now You See Me Too.
Yeah, but he was Woody Harrelson's brother in that.
His name is
Yeah.
Brick Patrick
Yeah.
Brick.
Brick Patrick.
Brick
Patrick.
There
There
it
he
is.
is. Right. So Brick wrote the movie. Great actor.
Good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy. Great guy. Right. And he goes, like, he grew up in Butte, and he was like, yeah, dude, you never had Chinese food. Like, what I'm about to tell you.
Oh.
So back in the 50s, even there was a gold rush or whatever, and a Chinese family moved there, and they just never left.
I just feel like a Chinese family got lost.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean?
Well, the gold rush was in
Corn?
Northern California.
Oh, that's right. And
Not
they
in
would.
Butte,
Oh, I know what.
Let me
I tell you what happened. Okay.
You're not wrong. There was gold in a lot of places.
Exactly.
But they went too far.
But they went east.
Keep it going.
Yeah, no. But they love east.
They love you.
Yes. We go east.
So they
No, go north. That's where the gold is. No, east. Yeah. And they walk east into the desert.
So they end up in Butte,
They
Montana.
got in the Butte, Montana, right?
Correct.
They go, oh fuck, we fuck up. And the guy goes, what do you mean? You know, we should have gone north.
Yeah.
There's nothing here but white people.
Correct.
Yeah. So let's open a Chinese restaurant
Brilliant.
called Pekin.
Pekin?
Yeah.
Pekin and Butte.
P-E-K-I-N.
Pekin and Butte, Montana.
Yeah.
There it is. Pekin Noodle Parlor.
Wants to get really
And
good
now,
at
so
his
upstairs, look at upstairs. The third photo.
Yeah.
I mean,
See that? It used to be a brothel.
whoa.
It used to be a brothel, and then they divided it up, and they go, let me turn this into a restaurant now. I don't know what the logic behind it, but that's exactly what it looks like.
Wow.
They never changed it.
So those are those little rooms to have sex in?
Yeah, but now it's opened, and now there's tables where you can eat.
I love the Wild West.
Yeah, right.
I love the Wild West. Wouldn't that be nice? And by the way, why don't they make it a brothel and Chinese food?
Exactly. And opium den used to be.
Ah, how
All
fun.
three?
How fun.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
It's amazing. It's like the Asian Walmart. You can get anything you want that's Asian, you know what I mean? So,
they did some kind of
I went there, and it's not Chinese food. I have no idea.
Was it like spaghetti?
It was, because there's this, there's two, I have a problem, alright? So there's this guy named Jerry that runs it. His parents ran it for many years.
You met the guy.
Yeah. And, so I did a comedy show there.
At the Chinese?
No, but next to it is the theater. And he came, and he go,
Seven people watching me on Kick right now? Why?
And I go, man, do you have kung fu or something? Yeah,
This ain't fun. Are these Game of Thrones fans? Have they found me?
You won't eat your food, right? So I went out
Kind of
to
patch.
make fun of him.
We now patch TV.
No, now I'm down to 3.
Yeah.
Buddy, I have cancer.
Kind of
Oh
patch.
my God!
We
From
now
his
patch
food, from the
TV
food?
shows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop.
HBO has a lot of shows.
Emma
man.
said it.
Wait, he said
Like
it.
a lot.
Tears in his eyes.
Game of Thrones
lot of
content.
shows.
Buddy, you want me to be truthful to you? I go, yeah.
Like a
I
lot.
have cancer. It came back. And I'm on Medicaid.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go.
What kind?
What?
What kind?
I
You didn't ask.
didn't ask.
Why wouldn't you ask?
What? I don't know what kinds there are.
Oh, there's so many.
Shoulder blade.
Yeah, could have it.
We
I
don't
don't
know how it's gonna go.
Can you get it in the finger? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Poor guy.
yeah, I go, oh man,
Terrible.
so sorry to make fun of you, man. You know,
Yeah, but you know,
good luck to you.
he knew you were joking. You're a comic.
I
You're a
think
friend.
he did something to
He had
fix
tears in his
Yeah, they did some kind of
So then I
patch.
go back to the green
We
room.
now patch TV
And
shows.
sitting like
apparently.
this, and Brick goes,
Yeah.
what happened, Bob? I tell him
okay.
what happens.
HBO has a lot of shows planned.
I go, what?
Like
He goes,
a lot.
I didn't even know.
Well, a lot of shows
So we got half an
under
hour
consideration,
later, I come back on the lobby,
but
and
they're
the guy
spending
has
money
tears in
on
his
to
eyes.
develop and
crying.
see
Still crying, and he goes,
whether
I'm joking!
for every. I mean, we're now
This
at
guy's great.
Fucking guy!
I love this guy.
for every
this
show
fucking
that's on
guy, Jerry,
either
I'm talking!
Well,
6 or
that's a
7
good
have
laugh.
died. So
By the way,
we
he
don't
does
know how
definitely
it's
ask
gonna go.
What?
No, he has cancer. That was his way of playing it off.
But the food was, it wasn't bad, it's just not Chinese food. He brought me out a bowl of water
There's Jerry right there.
with noodles. Is that Jerry noodling? Yep, that's him. I'm joking!
Look at Jerry.
There's Jerry. Good guy. If you're ever in Butte,
If
Go to Peckett.
you're ever in Butte, You know how often people are rolling through?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Look at him. That's my guy. Does he not look like he has cancer?
For every show that's gone through the air,
doesn't it look like I would buy
6 or
it?
7 have
Maybe.
died. So
Maybe I would have bought it.
we don't know how it's gonna go.
Did you ever get any insight on some of these failed shows? Like there was the one they paid a ton of money on. That was
Blood
led
Moon.
by Sarah Hess. It was supposed to be like an origin story for the Pact and the others, and et cetera, et
Not
cetera.
Sarah Hess. That was.
So this person
Did Sarah Hess work on it?
is
Maybe she wrote
posting a sentiment that I see quite often.
Did
I
Sarah
don't know if they believe in themselves or not, but as you can see, it got 1 million views. And accepting the existence of
fairly
magic
recently, well,
in a
kind of-
fantasy setting should not be
just said
easier than
they have
accepting the existence of disabled people.
not showing it to him because they're.
Exactly like the text is written.
I mean, Dean
Like
Gold was a
word
good
for
writer.
word from the academia
But-
to his mouth, and he managed to regurgitate it. So congratulations for managing to reproduce the text. Now let's see if they actually understand it. So as you can see, it's got 1 million views, and everyone is basically making fun of this. If you go into the comment section,
But-
there's a lot of people
At the same time,
that are memeing this, and they're disagreeing with it.
the-
Now, again, I don't care who the opening poster is. I generally
Yeah,
don't
which
care
is,
if
Steam
he
Corp.
believes in this or not. The reality is that the corporations themselves, like Wizards of the Coast, is pushing for this. I have seen many other games push for
Feed the
this.
Table in
And
Dragon's
it
Den, which is
infuriates people.
Steam
It
carved as a map.
irritates people, and the question is why? Why is it so irritating? And I really tried thinking about it, and then I realized
Forward, maybe we would have
that the
consulted
reason
more.
it's so
It was very
irritating
cool.
is that
It was fun.
reminds
Had
me
a ponder.
of evangelicals.
But at the end of the
Not
day,
all evangelicals, 'cause
like
obviously
us using our knowledge
but the ones that I grew
that
up with,
any
the ones
fan
from my
who's
area,
read the Wolves of the Fire and has gone to the Socialistic Marketing Collection and things could have come up with as well.
I actually
So
went
it's
to
not
a evangelical private school. Where my parents sent me is where I learned. And at that school, I met
like
a couple. And usually when
18
you have a
style
majority
squad of
religion,
people
the
who,
minorities
and then
they're not correct.
someone else had a pitch where
Yes,
Ezra
they're going to
Conqueror
put
was
your
actually a
artwork.
drunk idiot who
And I
basically
don't think I've met, before meeting woke people, individuals
who-
that were more
and
arrogant
then,
and filled with themselves than some of those evangelicals. Again, not all, but like some of them. They generally thought that they are superior human beings. They wouldn't say that out loud, but
For
from their
Ezra
behavior,
Conqueror
from
was
their
actually a-
mannerisms, when you spoke with them, you could see that they look at you as a lesser, as if you haven't gotten salvation yet, and the only
and this is not
place
going
you
after
can get salvation is through them. So they view themselves as if they're these emissaries from God, and they hold the truth, and you have to listen to them. You have to accept that they're in a position of power and superiority over you, and you have to listen to the good word. At least that was the vibe that I got, and it was very weird, very uncomfortable, and I was really glad when I finally got through that school. In fact, I believe it's what made me an atheist. Because I was thinking, wow, if God is so good, why are the people that follow him such this?
about the seven being kind of like
in the United States, and they
18 style squad of people who, and then someone else had a pitch where Ezra Conqueror was actually a drunk idiot who basically his sisters kind of made him look great, but he was actually just a jock who was constantly drunk. Yeah, I'm glad they did go. But at a certain point, as I said, after Blood Moon, like I think Voice and I think Bishop Pepper was still around. They said, you know what? From now on, George we need him more involved. We need him to kind of tell us, is this worth going after, and this is not going after.
So when they talk to you, they
Yeah, and he has like the unique relationship because I don't think any author they pretty much they pretty much want all control, and even though they don't have to give him any control because he signed over all the
Yeah, they,
film rights.
yeah. I mean, even still, technically, he does not have control, but they are now basically saying like your advice matters to us, and we'll act or not act on what the. I mean, as I said, the Dragons was his pitch.
And they
He
will
brought
say
Ryan
that
Condal
this is
on
so
board
magic
to
in a
be the
fantasy
showrunner
setting,
for
should
it.
not be easy, and they will say the words exactly as
Yeah,
the
they
text
film
says.
it.
And based on your reaction, they get to decide if you're a worthy human being, if you're a decent human being, as they say, or someone that's not even worthy of consideration. So if you don't like this for any reason, that's it. Conversation over. If you like it, then you're a good person.
That would be cool.
It really is.
Yeah, that would be
And
cool.
it's
I
also
think
like a
that'd be great.
problem that doesn't even exist, but they offer themselves to fix it, usually in exchange for cash.
That would be cool.
Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons
that would be
is a
cool.
game
I
that's
think.
played by friends. If you go at a table,
That would
sure,
be
you
cool.
can play whatever you want. If you want to play a guy in a wheelchair, like you want to play a mage in a wheelchair, you want to play an archer in a wheelchair, if your other companions are okay with it, nothing's stopping you. Alternatively, if the other companions
Especially
tell you to
if
fuck up, there's
we're
also
starting to
nothing
tighten
you can
belt
do, because
on what
Dungeons
they
and
can do.
Dragons is a game of negotiation. You gotta negotiate with the other people at the table. And if they don't want to play with you, that tough shit, find a different group of friends, right? So unlike other things, it cannot be dictated top down. Like even if Dungeons and Dragons or Wizards of the Grand Coast are basically saying, oh yes, all races are non-existent now, we're changing the stats and shit, they can't stop people from homebrewing, but they can create the Rorschach test and the conversations on Platter. Now the thing on Platter is that you can't have this ideology without censorship. Because right now when you go into the comment section, everyone is mocking and ridiculing this person. But if you had censorship and you banned everyone that was mocking and
Ships
ridiculing, then all of a
DoorDash or
sudden you get
Miria
consensus.
and the Roinar.
And you create the illusion
that would be
that, yeah,
cool.
only good and decent
Yeah,
people
that would be
agree
cool.
that
I
this
think
is
that'd be
okay.
great.
In my opinion, you know, like,
Although
again, I have
think
seen this
that one
exactly
using
as
those
the text
pulling
is
animated
written
project as well,
by
actually,
companies
as animated
usually
rather
making
than
the
live
statement
action.
that accepting
You
magic
got
in a
Matt and
fantasy
Colin
should not be
working
easier than
on
accepting the existence
Taking
of
the
disabled
Conqueror
people in a
again,
fantasy setting.
trying another stab at it.
There is a
During the
difference
Conquest,
between suspension of
it had the
disbelief
same
and
challenges as
absurdity.
the House of Dragons. You got 3 huge dragons, you
Like,
got a lot of battles.
it is
And
a
how
suspension of
do you put
disbelief
that into the budget?
to
Especially
see
if
a guy
we're
wall
starting to
running
tighten
and
belt
doing
on what they
amazing
can do.
parkour, and then there is absurdity of
And
him
it seems like the
jumping
kind of
around in
content
the
that they're.
You know, I mean, basically the thing with the wheelchair, having a ranger in a wheelchair, okay, I guess, sure, why not? But having a barbarian in a wheelchair, that's just ridiculous. It's not fantasy, you know, like fantasy is about being cool, over the top, graceful. And having a wizard in a wheelchair, that's like Charles Xavier, that can work. Having a ranger in a wheelchair can work, but like a barbarian, not so much.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think that'd be great.
Melee combat requires mobility. You need to move left,
Although
right,
I
right.
think
Anyway,
that
that's
one
just my
using
take.
those
But again,
pulling
it's the
animated
Rorschach test. I
project.
have the wrong take. And I don't understand why is it that a person that can play
Because I
literally
don't think any
anything they
author,
want, like it's a
they
fantasy
pretty
game,
much,
you can be
they
anything
pretty much
you
want
want.
all control. And even though they
Why
don't have to
you
give
would
him
want
any
to be in a
control because he
wheelchair?
signed all over all the
Like I sit myself
TV
at
film
the
right.
computer all day.
Yeah, I mean, even
Why would
still,
I want in a
technically, he
fantasy
doesn't have
to play as a
control,
guy
but
that
they
sits at the
now
computer?
basically saying, like,
Makes no fucking sense.
your
That's just my
advice
take, which
matters a
again,
lot to us,
Right?
and we'll act or not
and
act
the image
on
itself,
what to do. I
think
mean,
it's
as I said, the
AI.
Gas
Why are the
Dragons
legs so
was his pitch.
muscular? Like, if
He
the
brought Ryan
person is
Condal
in a
on
wheelchair,
board
they're not using
to
their
be the
legs, so
showrunner
how
for it. He worked
does
with
it make
Ryan
sense?
to kind of break
I
down
guess
that
it
first
doesn't have
season.
to, right? Like that's the whole thing. Like
He
it
was very
doesn't have to
involved
make
in that,
sense. It's all about the
and
inclusivity. It's all about
and
saying that
you know,
you're
the
part
other
of
thing
the
he pitched
ideology.
was a
Which
particular
means
Night of
that
the
the game
17.
is
So
secondary.
again, they're kind of going to the things that he's
It's
kind
the
of
same
championing.
like
He's interested in some of the
Dragon
others. He's
Age
talked
was
about
at a,
very
chess
positively of
conference.
his
And I was
interactions with
pointing
the
out,
person
saying,
who's
right,
working
well,
on
the
the
reason it doesn't work
10,000
in a
ships,
fantasy setting
the DoorDash or
because
the
in order
Miria
to
and
have
the Roinar.
top surgery, you need to have
that would be cool.
an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, that would be
you need
cool.
to
I
have
think that'd
the
be great.
chemists that know how to prepare the concoction. You need to have a
Although I
team of
think
specialized doctors.
that
you need to
one
have
using
physicians
this
that
pulling
invented
animated project
the
as well,
machines
actually.
which cause
That's
the
animated
imagery,
rather than
and
live
you have
action.
a fantasy setting.
You got Matt and Tomlin working
The only
on
reason you're having
Taking
that
the
is
Conqueror
because you
again,
want your
trying
ideology
another
everywhere.
stab
Like,
at
there
it.
shouldn't be any
During the
medium without
Conquest,
the ideology.
it has the same challenges as House of Dragons. You got 3 huge dragons, you got a lot of battles. And how do you put that into the budget?
Even if you
Especially
like it or
if
not.
we're
So
really
anyway,
starting to
right,
tighten belt
this
on what
is
they can
my
do.
take on this whole genre.
All right,
And
that's all I got in me for tonight.
the
I don't know what
main
should do.
problem is that
Hour
they
and
focus
20
on the
minutes.
companies instead of, like,
Not
making
very
cool new
impressive.
spells
But
or making new and exciting places
I'll get more
or
done tomorrow.
making interesting
I'm wiped
heroes
out.
and characters. They're focusing on doing more of this. This is where their resources are going. So the game is going to be stagnant.
I'll be
Well,
back in a few
if you're
minutes
fan
with
of
the game
Dungeons and
stream,
Dragons, I
so
don't
stay
think that the next
tuned.
edition is going to
Yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream. I don't know what I want to play yet.
Because they're not